All right, good morning to those joining us in North America, and good afternoon to our European participants and shareholders. Welcome to Core Mining's webcast to discuss the FG Gold drill results. I'm Scott Treblecock, the Chief Executive Officer of Core Mining, and joining me is Jim Hines, Executive Chairman. Core has been drilling at our BC project FG Gold for the better part of this year. We're incredibly excited about the results that we're getting and how that ties into our larger district scale opportunity, what we call the South Cariboo Gold Project. So I'm going to start and tie those together a little bit, then I'll hand it over to Jim to walk through what everyone's waiting about, the results. I will be making some forward-looking statements. I encourage, as always, that shareholders and potential shareholders thoroughly review all of the materials available on our website and on SEDAR to thoroughly understand the risks associated with before investing in Core Mining. I'd like to set the stage a little bit and congratulate the Core team for having a great 2020, delivering results and generating catalysts for our shareholders. We've put together a great development team based in the United States in Denver and Imperial County, California. We've also got an incredible exploration team up here in Canada, led by Jim and Mike Tucker, our VP of Exploration. They've been on the ground working hard in the portfolio, and we've seen a lot of great news releases come out of Core the part of this year. But we're not done yet. We're expecting at least 4 more news releases in the back half of this year, maybe more depending on what we get hit with the drill bit. But we certainly are going to see some more results from FG, something from Long Valley, some news out of Imperial, and the drill results are just going to keep coming in 2021. So really excited about Core Mining. So I'm going to start by laying a bit of the groundwork to talk about FG Gold Project and what it means in the greater context. So you'll see in our news release, and we talk a lot about the Cariboo. And what is the Cariboo? The Cariboo is the original gold district in British Columbia. It's the source of the Cariboo Gold Rush, which in the mid and late 1800s led to the development of the interior of British Columbia. The famed Cariboo Wagon Road went up the Fraser River Valley and really pioneered and opened up the towns all up, through 100 Mile House, 150 Mile House, and all the way up into the Cariboo gold fields. There's been continuous gold mining, both placer and industrial scale mining in the Cariboo ever since. If you fast forward to today, there's also been large copper porphyry discoveries to the south of the district. You see 2 large operating mines, Mount Polley and Gibraltar, operating in the region. You've got lots of placer gold operations. And because of that, you've got great infrastructure in the Cariboo. You've got power, roads, access to local skilled labor and communities that are comfortable and understand mining. This is the place in BC you want to be discovering gold and advancing a gold project. Another thing we're keeping our eye on very carefully and is creating some certainly excitement about our own project is what's gone on over at Osisko. They've created a new company, Osisko Development, which holds 1,000 square kilometers of mineral rights in the Cariboo. They're developing one of those projects to deliver almost 200,000 ounces of planned gold production. The company's being led by Sean Ruzin, who is going to be pounding the table on the district. He's got $100 million to drill aggressively, and he's already sitting on almost 6 million ounces of almost 4 grams per ton. And that's on their part of the Cariboo. And that company's worth $820 million. So the flagship project with about 200,000 ounces of planned production worth $820 million. Well, guess who controls the entire southern half of the Cariboo? Well, that's Core. Our team did a great job putting together 1,000 square kilometer claim position on the South Cariboo, which we will call here forward the South Cariboo Gold District. It's 100% Core owned. It's low royalties. And on it, we have 2 flagship projects in FG Gold and our Gold Creek discovery, and at least 5 other gold prospects that show the great potential of this claim block. Zooming in now to that flagship FG Gold project, at that project alone, we've got a massive growth opportunity. If you look at the property, it hosts a 20-kilometer trend that Jim will give you some more details on. On that trend, on only a small part of it, we've got the main zone, which hosts bulk of the current resource of almost 1 million ounces. That 1 million ounces has only been drilled shallowly. We've got this huge rock mass extending under the property and on this trend that gives us a great potential to have a company maker in FG Gold and in the South Cariboo. So with that set up, I will turn it over to Jim to walk us through the exciting results put out last night and what's going on at FG Gold.
Yeah, very good. Thank you, Scott. And that's a great introduction to FG and the Cariboo Gold District as a whole. I'd like to dive right into our spring program. And this was the program that we wrapped up in May of this year. So we drilled just under 1,800 meters. And this was our chance to get our feet wet on the FG Gold project. You know, our first attempt here was to understand the zone that had been drilled previously by historic operators, very shallowly drilled, focused on a high-grade, broad zone of mineralization right at surface. We wanted to understand that zone and what was controlling gold mineralization on this project. So utilizing HQ core, oriented core, as well as triple tube drilling style, we wanted to make sure we had great recoveries, good samples, and good representation of what it is that we were drilling into. You'll notice some of our highlights from our spring program. And again, this was a very small, modest program of just under 1,800 meters, yet we hit some very good gold mineralization, very near surface with some great high grades. Why this is important is, A, we were able to really start to understand the upper zone, which was the focus and the target of historic operators, but also we discovered the lower zone, which was an extension of where this lower zone and the upper zone come together. But ultimately, it was a new zone that we thought was different and important to the value add of this property, this project, and what the scale potential of this FG Gold project is all about. So this new discovery was 3.9 grams per ton over 10 meters, below the upper zone has been previously drilled. And if you move along to our next slide and look at, in long section, what was previously drilled, looking at pre-2020, the upper figure that you'll see here highlights the focus of historical drilling. You see that center section, you see lots of little bubbles. Well, those bubbles are grade bubbles, and they show some of the high grade intercepts, again, historically drilled shallowly. The red dashed line that you see below those bubbles is the depth extent of that historic drilling. You'll notice that that is very shallow in context with the size of the rock mass and size of this land package that we have. And that is drilled to just under 100 meters. And you'll notice that we have 3.6 kilometers that have been, again, previously drilled, but along strike, but really focused on a central section of just under 2 kilometers. Moving into our spring program, you'll notice something that is different from that historic drilling, and that is we've drilled down dip below the depth of historic drilling. When you look at that middle figure, you'll notice that we've opened up some new terrain, new rock below previous testing and drilling. And you'll also notice with those orange stars, we intercepted visible gold within those drill holes. And that was just a very small drill program. We focused on a very small section of strike, just under 250 meters. But we really wanted to show that, A, there was great continuity within that first zone that we tested, and also that it was continuous and open down dip. Moving into our 2020 summer drill program, after receiving a great investment by Eric Sprott, we wanted to really put this money to work. And we wanted to show that the scale of this project was there, that this could be a very, very large project. We didn't hold back, we drilled deep. You'll notice that in the bottom figure, what was historically drilled to 100 meters, we're now drilling at depths 300 meters below that. So we're drilling 300 meters down dip. Again, looking at the orange stars, you'll notice we're constantly hitting visible gold and gold mineralization below historic drilling, but significantly below historic drilling, and over a strike length of 1.8 kilometers. Again, this was a fairly modest program in relative terms, just under 6,000 meters of drilling. And our very first hole that we've released, which is 20-377, we hit fantastic gold mineralization. We hit high-grade gold, and we hit high-grade gold within a broader envelope of, again, great gold mineralization. Moving along to our next slide, this is a cross-section of the area that we've drilled, and the highlight of this news release that came out yesterday. And what you'll see is we've drilled a target that's 330 meters below, down dip, of historic drilling, and we pierced exactly what we were looking for. We were looking for great vein, quartz vein density, great quartz vein development, but with a deformed zone that hosts great gold mineralization. And you'll see we hit 3.22 grams per ton over 31.35 meters, but included within that, we have 6.44 grams per ton over 14.35 meters. Those are great underground mine potential grades. Why that's important for this project and why we're so excited about this project is this opens the door from what was regarded as a shallow, moderate to high grade deposit, fairly small, as Scott mentioned, just around 1 million ounces, to something now we've opened up this rock package significantly with some high grades, with visible gold, and we have multiple zones. These zones are open at depth. They're still open below where we've drilled. We've shown that the grades have been increasing with depth. Again, this is just one hole of the next 14 that are to be released, but it's a great starting point to show that this project has legs, and we have lots more to come with respect to the drilling that's been done, but also future drilling. You'll also notice that, again, this is the section where we drilled our first discovery of this lower zone, drilling that 3.9 grams per ton over 10 meters. We really wanted to follow up on that, and that was the first thing that we did was we stepped down dip, looking for that high-grade gold mineralization. We also have that upper zone where you see 0.71 grams per ton over 12.81 meters. Again, we're looking at that continuity of the upper zone and what extensionally that'll do at depth as well. We have one drill hole pending within this section, that's hole 376. We drilled 377 before this one, but we've also noted that we have great vein development within those sort of key target areas, visible gold, and great deformation. We expect to see great results coming out of hole 376 as well. Now moving on, I'm going to go back to that long section, but zoomed in here a little bit on, this is the best look at what our project is and really what the potential of this project is. Because what it shows is we have great continuity. Again, you can see where we've pierced that 3.22 grams per ton over 31.35 meters. That's significantly below historic drilling. Way down dip from where the bulk of the resource of the FG Gold Project exists. But you can also see that we've pierced multiple points along this trend over 1.8 kilometers, again, showing visible gold. We have 10 of our 14 drill holes that are remaining have pierced this lower zone, and 7 of these remaining drill holes have visible gold in them. Again, yet to be released. Assays are pending, and they'll be coming out over the next couple months. But the important factor here, or thing to think about, is look at all the untested rock that we have. And we have these sparse drilling areas that are on trend and on strike with our main zone. There's some great drill holes that have come out of that historically, very little follow-up. But again, nothing that has really been drilled at depth below it. And as we've seen in our current drill program, the summer drill program, we have improved development at depth. We have greater grades that have developed at depth. And so we really look forward in the future of expanding the scope of this and really feeling out how big this project can be. Again, it's still open down dip, a lot of untested terrain, and way open along strike along this, again, 20-kilometer trend that we've been discussing. If I move on to the next slide and go back to the slide that Scott had spoken about in terms of this horseshoe shape that we have, and why this is key is the horseshoe shape that we've determined is, you know, where this permissive rock package comes to surface. When I say permissive, it's where gold is able to mineralize. It's a good host rock for where the gold can develop. And we've shown through both geophysics and geochemistry that zone continues right around the what we call the nose of the syncline of our project. And if you look at the right-hand figure, you'll notice that the zone that we're targeting, which is in that small box, goes right underneath our property, comes out on the other side of our property. So this is a very large land package, but it's also a large rock mass that hosts this gold mineralization. So there are lots of targets. There's a lot of future potential of this project. And we've just scratched the surface here in terms of focusing on the main zone, showing that we can really understand how the structural controls of this project work. Then we can apply it to the rest of this land package as we continue to move forward and continue to explore. And now I'm going to just talk about the district as a whole. And I think this is where we need to tie it all together. The FG Gold Project is an orogenic gold deposit. And why that's important is the Barkerville district, so the Osisko Development's property, also orogenic. Our Gold Creek property, orogenic. All part of a very similar trend where you have mass regional deformation, you have great mobilization of gold, and again, where you have the right structure, the right permissive rock, you're going to find gold. This is a well-endowed district that has seen a number of great deposits that have been discovered. The Osisko Development guys are doing a great job of advancing their project. And if you look forward to the coming months, we're going to talk more about our district as a whole, this large land package we have, a series of targets that are very akin to FG and Gold Creek. We have drills turning at Gold Creek right now. We had some great success there in 2018. And we're following up on that to show, again, this is a district scale potential. The scale is there, the size is there, and we're just going to look forward to unlocking true value of an undervalued asset in an underexplored district of British Columbia. So again, looking forward to more results coming out. We'll be unveiling those over the coming months as assays come in. And the drills are turning. I'll hand it back to Scott and we'll move into a Q&A.
Great, thanks, Jim. Well, hopefully this presentation gives you some idea about how excited we are in Core about FG Gold in the South Cariboo Gold District. I'll turn it over now to investors to ask questions. Please enter your questions into the chat box in the webinar. And we've got Arlen Hansen joining us here to help us out to manage the Q&A session.